another season with a semi-serious injury. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Plus, there's an update to TNT suing the NBA over the deal with Amazon. All that. Plus, Jason Tatum also said his biggest season is yet to come. We're getting into all that and more on today's NBA Central.
Welcome to the number one place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA Central.
What's going on, basketball fans? Welcome to another episode of NBA Central, your number one spot for everything basketball related. We got Bobby, Stevo, myself, Haize in the building today. Fellas, we got news. Of course, with Kawhi Leonard, it's always something that's right around the corner. And this time, it looks like some inflammation around his right knee has decreased, but he had a procedure that's going to leave him maybe out at the start of the season. Right now, they're expecting him to kind of do more drills in training camp and be an active participant. This, one of the reasons Paul George did leave this Clippers team is injuries and the fact that it always ended up kind of being just him in the playoffs. How do you guys feel about this update to Kawhi Leonard kind of being out of training camp to start off here?
There's one of those things to where you're like, hey, are you really surprised at this point? like it's always those times and those moments you don't even be thinking about Kawhi, but he gonna make you remember. He gonna let you know exactly where he, like, you know what I'm saying, that he's still around. And it's unfortunate, like, if we talking about the basketball aspect, it's unfortunate for him. It's unfortunate for the Clippers as well. You hitched your wagon into him, you re-upped on that deal, and you refused to re-up on Paul George. I know Paul George is particularly happy right now. Well, you know what I'm saying? You don't wish injuries on anybody, but if you ain't got to be around a certain group of people that's not going to show up to work when you need them to show up and complete a project or get the job done to try to push for something successful, he ain't got to worry about that no more. It's unfortunate for Kawhi Leonard. It's not to say that his season is already lost, but it will leave some concerns for Clippers fans and for guys that root on other teams like me. You'd be like, hey, I'm not really surprised.
I mean, this is something you're just going to hear the remainder of his career. And it's just not a slight, but this is just the history of people that have knee problems. And the what I've seen is just his knees is never going to hold up like they once did. And every single year there's going to be problems, just like this inflammation. Inflammation is something that just comes along with hurting your knee over multitudes of times. He has multiple surgeries on both knees. I'm pretty sure there's some arthritis there, tissue damage, cartilage damage, replacement, scar tissue, all that combined in the last 5+ years. You're gonna hear this for the remainder of his career. So, like, I mean, like Bobby just said, you're not gonna be surprised no longer for when you hear things like this, and it's just really to the organization, like the fact that you really hitched your wagon on this person instead of somebody like a Paul George who's now in Philadelphia. It just makes you think, like, did we really make the right choice putting all our bread in one basket with this guy? So yeah, like, you really just gonna hear this for the rest of his career.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what it kind of sounds like. Lawrence Frank, the president of the Clippers, said this: the goal is to get him to 100% so he can have a great season, not just this year, but for many years. We're just really going to focus on strengthening and loading. I think we learned some lessons. Just if you think about it, he desperately wanted to come back and play in that Dallas series, and within a game and a half, the inflammation came where it wasn't manageable. So we don't want to put ourselves in that position. And listen, load management is the thing now in the NBA, and Kawhi Leonard is going to be the type of player that is load managed for probably the remainder of his career. It's just what you have to do. Now, I'm glad that, if for Clippers fans, I'm sure they're glad it's happening at the beginning of the season. Maybe that means he's going to be better at the start of the season. That's where it's important at. This Clippers team still has more than enough to get into the playoffs. They have more than enough to still be a solid team. And, hopefully it's at the start. They do some load management over the course of the season. He may not play a lot of back-to-backs, whatever it takes. But the key thing for this Clippers team and for Kawhi Leonard is being healthy by the playoffs. And I'm sure that's what they're focused on.
I think that's what they gunning for at this point of his career. I don't know what is gonna come out of this. The hope and the wishful thinking to hope that Kawhi Leonard is gonna be able to give us 16 games in the playoffs to try to go for a championship again, that thought has sailed for me a long time ago, a few years ago. I just hope that he can play basketball for however long he wants to play basketball, and then we'll just go from there. Really,
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Well, moving on
All
from
I
that,
gotta say, ain't no more tread on that tire. That's all I gotta say.
there's a little bit. If there was no more tread on it, he wouldn't be able to play. There's a little bit.
I'm just saying, there's like for somebody that like I had a D issue and like literally with information, he if he just walking too much one day, it could just flare up.
yeah,
That's the point of his career. So like that's my thing. Like it's not done with him. It's just the state of his knees. They just done.
yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like he can push it to the limit as much as he want. You're gonna start looking like Kelsey Gray in a minute if you don't check yourself. Because we already know her shit done. Her knees touching. She was tearing her knees in high school.
Crazy. That's wild. Well, to keep on, I know we had a different topic listed next, but to keep on the injury topic, just kind of make more synergy here. So we got another injury update earlier today, and that's Mitchell Robinson will miss the beginning of the season with his left ankle injury still being there. The question I have to you guys, because I don't think it's really surprising, he may not be ready to go at the start of the season. How are the Knicks going to weather the storm of not having Mitchell Robinson? They have a lot of perimeter help, right? Tom Thibodeau has already talked about Julius Randle playing some small ball center. They have Precious Achiuwa there. They have Jericho Sims there. One thing that Tom Thibodeau throughout his career, if you really look at his coaching career, he never really plays undersized centers a lot. He just does not. He's had Joakim Noah. He had Karl Anthony Towns. In Minnesota, he's always had decent sized centers there. Going into the season, expecting to play some small ball center and Julius Randle, whatever else they do, is that enough for the Knicks to weather the storm of how long Mitchell Robinson is going to be out? What do you guys think?
That Isaiah Hartenstein going to OKC hurting now. It's
Yeah.
really hurting right now. And I think they was kind of banking on him being healthy this year. With this coming down, I don't know how long that can last because like when we talking about the big from not even the center position, but the power forward position as well. In the Eastern Conference, we got some big guys. We got Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, not Miami, Milwaukee.
So is one of the biggest teams now. They got Khalil Ware.
Oh yeah, Khalil Ware now. Yeah, as long as with the rookie that was there last year. You got some height you got to go up against in the East. Like maybe if they was in the West, I feel a little bit more. But the fact that they're gonna have to go up against some bigger teams like Philly, like Milwaukee, like the Cavs, hell, like it's a lot of teams that's big in this Boston.
I was like Boston. You can go to the Pacers with Miles Turner and Julius Randle match up with that. You talk about with the Hornets. I ain't saying they're gonna be world beaters, but Mark Williams can Julius Randle handle that? So is it you? I think you right on the money with saying that it's some bigs around here. That Julius Randle's gonna have to battle in the paint and in the post with. And I don't know. I believe he's strong enough, but what is the stamina gonna look like with him now defending a different position that requires a different amount of energy? That's what's gonna be the interesting part of it.
It's gonna be like being a power forward in 2004. Every night is somebody you going up against. Like
he better like call Al Horford for some inspiration.
For real, because like we just talked in Milwaukee, you got to deal with Giannis and Brook. That's two basically 7 foot mom. Cavs, we are just saying who they got. Even if you look at Nets, you got to deal with Nick Collins. Like you got to deal with the Celtics. You got to deal with the Raptors. They're not little as well. No. So I just think the talent wise he can match up with him, but physically he gonna get banged up. He gonna get banged up because you're gonna be going against people not only can play in the post, they gonna stretch you out. So if he gonna have to play some good defense this year because they gonna test him in all phases.
That's a fact.
Yeah, either that or they better hope that Precious Achiuwa or Jericho Sims hits a step or a leap up as well, because
I agree.
Even just having Julius Randle there, like even if he does step up, like you still need more depth in that, right? Like it's the Knicks. I like a lot of the players on the Knicks roster, but the balance of that roster is going to be really interesting to watch with not having Mitchell Robinson to start. Like, understand why they let. I don't. Let me not say that. I don't understand why they let Hardenstein walk, because to me, you needed him. You knew Mitchell Robinson is injury prone, or you had to go out there and get another backup center, and they didn't really try to address that in a meaningful way. But we'll see how they do. This is going to be interesting.
It's like 5 main teams I'm looking at that they needed to get Isaiah. Cleveland and Orlando. Orlando is going to give them some problems as well, because not only are they big, but they're athletic as well. Celtics, 76ers, Heat. That's why I feel like you're going to have your hardest difficult task, and you're going to see them constantly.
For sure. I agree.
We'll see, man. Yeah, but from one Eastern Conference contender to another one, Jason Tatum says that his biggest season yet has come, saying exactly this. You haven't seen the best version of him yet. I'm going to ask you guys, Jason Tatum is a 5-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA first team, an NBA champion now as well. Do you guys think there's a lot left to uncover in Jason Tatum's game? He pointed out the fact that, hey, he's only 26.
Yes. He said he told no lies. He's 100% right, because just like we looked at Paul George, he has everything to be great. He's one of the most talented players in this league as of now. If not, he's top 3 most talented players, and he's gifted in every facet. He has the size. He's athletic enough. Even more, he has all the skill, shot making, feel for the game, IQ, all of that. Last year wasn't an MVP, so he's right. Like, that wasn't it. He's capable of having an MVP type year. He's capable of being an MVP. He has the talent to be an MVP. Yeah, we have a lot to discover from you. Yeah, he's 26, and like we said, you have all the talent. You just got to show it. So yeah, I 100% agree with him. I hope this is the year that you finally see that final form, and you do what Paul George didn't do and show his final form.
For sure, and I'm with you on that. And I don't think it's necessarily about what we've seen him do. Play great defense. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and be a force on the offensive side. But the problem is that we've seen him disappear too much. If you want to be an MVP, you want to be great, you want to uncover that next layer of your game, you can't go missing, you know what I'm saying, for an extended period of time. You can give it up to Jaylen Brown, because he's a hell of a talent. He one of those, and he got that mentality. You will give up some moments to him. But there's too many times to where he's being overshadowed for a number of games by Jaylen Brown. If you want to have an opportunity to peel back that last layer and maximize what we believe that the talent that he has, he got to come out here and set the tone for a squad. And you can't go missing. We can't go looking for the binoculars saying that Jason Tatum is shooting bad this series or shooting bad for, you know what I'm saying, a long period of time. Obviously, players are going to have those stretches that they run into, you know what I'm saying, to where the shots are not falling. But you still got to find other ways to impact the game to where people is like, hey, we know Jason Tatum ain't score a lot of points, but those blocks, they made the difference. Those steals, they made the difference. He got down and he stuck defense. Hey, what about that pass play that he threw up to Jaylen Brown, or that outlet pass he gave up to Derek White? Something along those lines. He cannot go missing like we've seen in years past. So I'm a rock with him. I believe he has the talent to do it, but we already know, man, you got to put it on wax at the end of the day.
Listen, I mean, I like, because he's in a way he's kind of putting himself on notice with this, right? Yeah. Like if you put that terminology and that phrase out there, listen, everybody's going to go back to that this season. Every bad game, and he's going to have bad games. We're not saying he's not, but every bad game he has, people are going to go back to this quote, right? But maybe he put himself, like, we had a great here in Chicago that said, why not him? Why couldn't he win the MVP and went out and won it?
Yeah.
So, hey.
He just got to stand on business, bro. Yeah, I think that's what it come down to. A lot of people already, you know what I'm saying, kind of down on him. And, you know, to my point, I won't call anybody else out or say it's their take, but we have, well, at least I have sat up on here and say, hey, bro, in this playoff series, Jaylen Brown looking like the guy.
Yeah.
We can't have too many of those moments this year if you want to unlock that and have a shot at this, you know, individual award. And silencing some more doubters because they don't even believe that your championship was a real thing because of the run to the championship.
All I gotta say is when it comes to him, stop sharing no mama moments and no mama quotes and be the quote.
Oof.
Be the moment.
That's a bar, bro.
Wow.
That's
Be the
a
moment.
bar. Yeah.
For real.
Stevo
Be the
could jump on
moment.
that one.
Be the moment. Be the quote. And you gonna be that dude.
That man says,
Bro.
stop sharing the quotes. Be the quote. That's we definitely
Bro.
cooking that up. We definitely cooking that up.
Let's
he cooked on that one. Wow.
I'm still there for hard. That's the only thing I'm still for hard.
But yeah, let's hope. I hope that Jason Tatum has a big year. I hope, listen, shout out to Jason Tatum. Go put an MVP season out there and repeat as champions. We haven't had repeat champions in a long time. Like Bobby said, people are doubting the championship run because every team that you faced had a major injury up until that point. This is Boston Celtics' opportunity to prove and show, hey, that championship wasn't no fluke. We doing it again. So
it's solidify yourself as possibly being the actual dynasty because you have the rumblings. You've been successful enough in the past to do so. So this is the time to start building your mark to become a dynasty.
Let me ask you this question. I know we didn't plan for this as part of this discussion, but do you think Jason Tatum, at being 26 years old, does he have a legitimate shot at being labeled as the best player in the NBA?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say talent-wise, yes. For me, it comes down to the mentality.
Okay. That's fair.
That's why I said be the quote. If he's being that quote, he has the talent to be that quote. So if he's doing that, he's putting in the work like he say he is, it's gonna show on the court. Like you got, like Bobby got to say, you stop disappearing in those moments, and we're constantly seeing you. The numbers are already showing that you won top 5 easily in that discussion, regardless. Stamp it.
Yeah,
that's what you gotta do. Stamp that, and I think that's the perfect way to end it. Stamp it, bro. For real.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, there's this article from Bleacher Report in which they pick dark horse candidates for every single major NBA award. What?
No, I've been reading some of these dark horse.
Yeah, bro, these are crazy. But I'm gonna read Bleacher Reports, but also ask everybody to bring their own. But for MVP as the dark horse candidate, they have Tyrese Halliburton listed as the dark horse candidate.
Sheesh, bro, you threw a fish line into the Atlantic. Bro, I'm not even lying to you.
Pacific, what the fuck? Shit, like that,
bruh. I saw that and I was like, hey, we got to talk about this article, bro, because to start it off, you started it off with saying that Tyrese Halliburton could win the MVP. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. But
I agree with that. I think that is crazy.
You think that's crazy? All right, who do you guys have as a dark horse candidate to win MVP?
Oh, for me, I was going, man, it's for me, it's real close. Because I feel like this guy's been playing at an MVP level for years, and that's SGA. I feel like he's been playing for years at an MVP level. But I'm gonna go ahead and say Tatum is gonna be my dark horse. I believe with how the Olympics went, how the championship criticism has came to him, and then I don't know how true it is, but it's being reported. Things are rumbling that Joe Mazzulla kind of threw a little slight at him. About the Olympics and things like that. And I feel like he need to come put these guys on notice. I'm gonna see what he made of. I'm gonna buy some stock in it to see what he can do. I think a lot of people gonna try to overlook him early on because how well put together the team is. But I still don't think that should diminish on what he can do when it comes to this MVP race. I'm gonna go and show some love to Jason Tatum.
All right, Stevo.
I'm gonna go ahead. Do I want to say it? Because I kind of want to go a different direction. Mind you, this the darkest of horses. Like this Nightwish dark, like Raven dark.
So
you about to throw this. So you about to. Throw the fish line into the Pacific.
Nigga, I'm finna throw this mug into the Mariana Trench. I ain't gonna lie to you. Ja Morant.
Huh? That is absolutely a dark horse for sure.
And just because I want to see a pissed off John Morant, I feel like if we see a pissed off John Morant, he, I hate to say this, but what he can be with Zach Edey, it could be a problem in the West. It really could.
Hold on now.
And it's more because how dangerous he is. Edey gonna be a fucking tree in the forest to just
That's a fact.
drop that motherfucking hole. And I just feel like that team we seen in the playoff, this team is slightly a little bit better talent wise. We've seen an uptick in GG, even though he's dealing with a little bit of an injury. Carter, that they had a nice uptick in points, 10 points per game. So yeah, I think that he has a case. He's coming off injury, a little elbow injury. If he come off pissed, and I think he can put himself as a person in the MVP conversation.
Real quick question. And I'm not saying that he is Russell Westbrook, but the dynamic between Russell Westbrook and Steven Adams during his MVP year, I believe, was a key moment or a key argument to MVP case for Russ. Do you think that dynamic has to be something similar? Not necessarily that, but something similar to that between Ja and Edey.
Yeah, but quite frankly, I think from a ceiling standpoint or a potential standpoint, I think Zach Edey has a way better offensive potential compared to Steven Adams, so it could be even
Fair
better.
enough. Ooh,
I agree with that.
sure.
I agree with that. My dark horse candidate, I guess we're all going point guards. I'm going Jalen Brunson. I think Jalen Brunson can win MVP this season. I
That
think
is a dark horse.
I think when you look at
That's under the bed.
the way that he finished the season, what three out of the 6 months of the season, I think he averaged over 30 points per game. I think he has a team around him that's going to fight. They're going to get scrappy. They're going to have a lot of the storylines taking into that season. We all know when the Knicks are good, all eyes are on the New York Knicks in a lot of ways to see if they're going to succeed or fail. I think he's going to have the storyline. I think his size as well plays a part into that because there's nothing like seeing a small point guard be able to fill it up. There's something different about that in the NBA. So I think that that was a bit of a pause. Serious statements.
Flag on the play.
That was crazy. Like my brain caught up to it. It was like, hey, bro, what did you just say? What did you just say? I'm embarrassed. But with that said, I think Jalen Brunson to me has fourth in the NBA in scoring last year overall, second in the playoff in totals in scoring as far as points per game. Those type of things I think is going to put Jalen Brunson in the conversation all by itself. And if the New York Knicks exceed expectations, they can get to 50, 55 wins. I think that'll be enough to get Jalen Brunson the opportunity to win MVP next.
I ain't mad at it. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Can I do my C-Dub impersonation? What he gonna do his MVP year? Kevin Durant. He's gonna figure it out. They're gonna finally figure out between Devin Booker, and they're gonna figure out they're gonna go to the Western Conference Finals.
We gotta
and
get
gonna
bro
show the
on.
world.
That is hilarious, man. I was hoping C-Dub was gonna be on for this one, but you know it is what it is, man. He can take care of personal business. All right, defensive player of the year. For the dark horse in this article, they listed Jalen Suggs as the dark horse to win defensive player of the year. He did finish tied for 10th last season in defensive player of the year voting. So maybe there's some, and we know that this a Magic team does need defenders. That was one of the things that hurt them as defenders. They brought in KCP. How do you guys feel about Jalen Suggs' chance to win defensive player of the year, and then who's your dark horse for the award?
I understand it because like he is one of the best up and coming guards on ball and team defender that's good, well rounded as a defender in this league, and he definitely, like you said, finished 10th in the race last year. But I feel like this is more of a 5 years down the road type of thing because I'm gonna just be quite frank with you. I'm not picking no guard over Drew Holiday as defensive player of the year. Just not doing it. Mm-hmm. And until he's out the league, I don't think nobody's gonna top him when it comes to at the guard position, I should say, for defensive player of the year. So, like I said, 5 years down the road, I can see this dude win a defensive player of the year at the guard position. But right now, he ain't getting it over Drew ever.
Okay.
Now who your pick?
Bridges.
I think that's a good one. I ain't go
Yeah.
that deep. I feel like I'm
I
picking
definitely
safe picks
think
now.
that Bridges moving back. Wait, which Bridges you talking about? You talking about Mikal Bridges, right?
Mikael Bridges.
Mhm.
Okay, I
I
just
don't know
wanted to
why
make
they,
sure
I don't know why
before
they say his first name. Yeah,
I just
Mikael
wanted to make sure
Bridges.
before I go through
Especially
a whole soliloquy. You're like, that's not who I'm talking about.
Right.
yeah, especially with him going back to New York. Now he's been showing his on ball skills as a net. Now he's gonna show you he's gonna go back to where we seen him in Phoenix is back to his team defense, and he's gonna make a little bit more of a impact due to what team he's on now. So and it's New York, the lights on you, so more people are gonna see it. So I think he's my dark horse for defensive player of the year.
For sure. Now, when we talk about Jalen Suggs, hey, I ain't mad at it. I think that could be a sneaky good one. My man, he handled business on his side of the basketball. I think that going into the season, the favorite is obviously going to be Victor Wembanyama.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the guy that I don't necessarily think is much of a dark horse, but I think Bam is gonna be right there. To go ahead and get in and put his say in this argument in this discussion. I believe that the Miami Heat should be transitioning on to letting it be his squad. You know what I'm
I agree
saying?
with that.
In favor of Jimmy Butler, because Jimmy Butler is the older guy. He ain't the prime guy that Bam is right now. My man's out here.
Bro, a spider just fell. The spider literally just y'all lucky I ain't freak out.
Hey,
I'm
that's
like,
the thing about the Midwest, bro. Y'all
bruh,
got hella spiders out here, bro.
This happened to me yesterday.
bro, and them motherfuckers is so disrespectful. Like you could have dropped anywhere else. You dropped right in front of me. Like,
You gonna see me, nigga.
Bruh. But I do think that is I think it's gonna be Bam. I just think that it's his time now. And I think that Eric Spoelstra is gonna coach these guys up. And I believe the addition of Khalil Ware is gonna be a major help to him.
yeah, I agree with that. I Bam was actually going to be one of my picks, and then I started looking deeper dive into things. I'm actually, and this is not because he's a former Bull. I actually think Alex Caruso could be a dark horse. Now, keep in mind, I agree. Victor Wembanyama is the clear cut favorite to win
Right.
Defensive Player of the Year this year. But
I
if we're
agree.
talking about dark horses, Alex Caruso, and here's why. One of the things that Alex Caruso did the best in the NBA, not just for the Chicago Bulls, but in the NBA, was cause deflections. What does that do? That helps you get out in transition and play with a quicker pace. The Oklahoma City Thunder were already second in the league in deflections, and they're adding the best player in the league getting deflections. And on top of that, they were 8th in pace last year. Alex Caruso is going to slide in. Still, I'm going with the pause comments. He's going to come into the OKC Thunder team. He's going to come to that team, and he's going to help strengthen two things they are already top of the NBA in, and providing the versatile on-ball defense that can go from 1 through 4. I think that Alex Caruso being on a team that could have the MVP candidate that's already going to be competing in the West is going to put up a big number of wins. I think that Alex Caruso, to be on the Chicago Bulls and be something that basketball fans know about, they're going to see him on a bigger stage this year on more national TV. I think that can get Alex Caruso into the Defensive Player of the Year conversation.
Oh, wait. That's a good one.
That,
I ain't
that
mad at
light that light skinned ass horse.
This albino horse.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. All right, next award, Rookie of the Year. They had listed as a dark horse, Khalil Ware.
Oh,
I
honestly like that.
I like that. I think for a draft class that already has so many questions on it, right? Like we don't know. Khalil Ware going to a team that already has a solid foundation, that already has heat culture, right? That already is going to be a team that's going to get into the playoffs theoretically and stuff like that. Like going to that team and being able to fit next to Bam Adebayo, and if he starts, I do think that he could be a Rookie of the Year candidate for sure.
To me, he wasn't a dark horse to me. Like he was in my top 3 as a Rookie of the Year candidate. Because to me, he's like the Evan Mobley of the draft. Like if he just figure it out, oh my god! Like he's like that type of player. Like obviously, I didn't have eyes on. I'm an Oregon fan, so he started off in Oregon. So the talent is there. It's just been the want to, and then we seen that want to improve when he transferred over with I forget who this Scott is his last name, but he was transferred over to Indiana. Played well. I'm surprised he went all the way to the 15 pin to the Heat, but it's a blessing because UD in your ear, Pat Riley, Bam, Jimmy, that culture down there. If he ain't that guy now, he's gonna have to turn into it. And if he ain't, he's gonna be gone quick. So, in my estimation, I think he ain't really a dark horse because he's probably easily top 5 most talented player in this draft.
Okay. All right. Well, who's your pick?
Montes Buzelis.
Okay.
That's how I was going to
homer.
come too, bro. I was going to be a homer on that selection for me.
So both of y'all picking Montes Buzelis as your dark horse.
Yeah, because like I seen Zachary Richards share, and I was like, it is summer league, but I was like,
I think that nigga ass. I'm sorry. He gotta show me. He gotta show me. Like until further notice, I'm calling him Anthony Bennett because that's how I see it.
Yeah, and I just think that like when the guy, I think it's gonna be a lot of things predicated to the success of Montes Buzelis. One of them, if you're a Bulls fan, you know Patrick Williams, and it comes down to a more serious thing with our coach, with Billy Donovan. We know that the last few rookies we had, they ain't see much tick, but I think Montes Buzelis comes in with a different mentality than the last few rookies that the Bulls selected. So is Billy Donovan gonna place these guys in a position to win? Who knows? But I will say that that's why I was gonna go with the dark horse. I wanted to say Reed Shepherd, but I just didn't know how the playing time was going to look with him, even though I believe they seen a lot of things that they liked this summer. I just didn't necessarily know what the plan was for him.
I agree with that. I like that. Listen, I try in these things to not be the homer and pick Chicago Bulls players specifically. I could see Montes Buzelis, especially with the injury concern to Patrick Williams, and maybe he doesn't start off the season healthy. If Montes Buzelis has that type of mindset that I think if he gets that starting power forward role,
he ain't giving it up.
I don't know if you're gonna have to kill him.
You gonna take it.
Yeah.
Like I think he's the most confident player on this team.
That's crazy,
sure.
but I believe it. It's crazy to say, but I believe it.
Yeah, as far as this was a very difficult thing for me because I looked at each one of these rookies, especially in the first round, and I tried to pick ones that I could see making some sense that they could end up, being a dark horse for Rookie of the Year. But I honestly, everybody that I came up with has a legitimate, even Khalil Word, he has a legitimate shot. It makes sense for him to have a shot. Rob Dillingham. Maybe, right? You don't know what that's going to happen, what that could look like with Chris Paul being there, playing with, if he builds some chemistry with Wemby, maybe early, maybe that could be a thing there. Reed Shepherd has his own case. But I come down to this, and I hate that I'm going to do this. And I think it comes down to the team that he's on, and the role that he's going to is going to be defined. As a dark horse, not favorite, Zach Edey.
Hey, I ain't mad at it, to be honest with you, because really, especially with Stevo's earlier point that Ja can be the dark horse for the MVP. Yeah. That means Edey gonna be one of those.
Yeah. I mean, it pained me. It pained me, bro. But I had to look at it like literally, like he's gonna be like he literally went to the team that does not need him to do anything,
nothing but
just be him,
just healthy, just stay healthy, which he doesn't really have a injury history like that.
Right?
Yeah,
he got solid touch around the rim. For his size, most people don't even have touch for his size. So for him to just sit there, and then we've seen the creativity that Ja has to give his bigs the ball, and he ain't even had the biggest big. Now he got the biggest of them all.
Yeah,
it's different.
Yeah.
All right, 6th man of the year. Bleacher Report listed here: Bogdanovich.
That ain't crazy.
You don't think like I don't like
surprised that I didn't.
I like Bogdan. That's why
I like him too. But 6th man of the year usually comes from a team that's. I don't have the Atlanta Hawks winning a whole lot of games this season.
I feel like he's gonna get traded.
Yeah,
that's his best bet. But yeah, I don't like it. I don't know. Like this was another hard one for me. Like I don't even know if I have an answer for. Like it's really difficult to say who gonna be sixth man of the year because there's so many. There's so like I could say Nas. I mean, I could say Nas rent it again. I can
Now,
say I
if this helps as well, right? He was 5th in voting last year for 6th man of the year.
right.
Bogdanovich was. So
Yeah. So like, if I had to pick my dark horse of the year, I would just say Nas. He run it again. I feel
that's
like
a
he'll
dark
win it.
horse to you?
Yeah,
That ain't a dark
because
horse.
to me, if you pay attention, especially every year, there's always somebody. It, well, not even somebody. I feel like out of everybody, even the MVPs, the rookie year, it's the one that constantly changes the most. If you pay attention, it's always somebody different each and every, and then it's always somebody to catch you off guard. Like that one year, Tyrese Maxey, we was like, oh, or then we saw that one year with other people. Like you never know. So like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is one of the
Malik Monk, fuck it. How about that?
That's fair.
He finished
I mean,
second in voting last season,
yeah.
so I ain't too mad at it. Cause my initial thought when I looked at sixth man of the year, I said, "Damn, hey, it ain't no way I don't believe Nas going back to back." Like that's just how I'm looking at it. One
Yeah.
dark horse, I know it's bro. This is throwing the fish line in the Pacific. Ayo Dosumo. I'm just saying, I expect a big jump from him.
Oh, you
I just
being-
know it's not gonna happen. But it would be great to see to root for the squad. But what I would say, one guy who could absolutely step up that received 2 votes last year is Jaime Jaquez.
That was my pick. Jaime
I think
Jaquez for sure.
I think that mug can do that. It's just so many ways you can go with this because if you're looking at Russell Westbrook, you'd be like, damn, bro, he finna go play in Denver. He gonna have to be a major piece for them to, you know what I'm saying? I still think they're gonna win games, but he gonna have to be a key part of that.
I
Wait
got
a
one.
second. You may just giving because I was gonna pick Jaime Jaquez, but just for the nature of the conversation.
Yeah, bro.
Well, that's the thing. He may start. I was gonna say, what about
See, that's
KCP? But KCP may start.
Yeah.
I got one.
Go ahead.
This gonna get y'all. Y'all gonna know. I know this gonna. Dante DiVincenzo.
Ooh.
Okay. Oh yeah, for
That's
New
not a
York.
bad pick. That's not a
I
bad
got
pick.
him.
I think
That's
that's
not a
solid.
bad pick. Yeah. And it could be either him or Mikal. Like we don't know what they're gonna do as far as starters because
Right.
are they
Or
gonna,
Josh
or Josh Hart.
Hart. Yeah, or
Okay.
Josh.
Whoever doesn't start out those three,
You're gonna
all
have to
has a
start.
really good chance.
Yeah,
So
that's fair enough.
yeah, I'm not mad at it. But Jaime Jaquez, I think, is a really good pick, especially because
Yeah.
they played him at 3 positions last season. They played him some at shooting guard, some at small forward. I think that they're confident in him, and I think with the added defense that they're gonna have in the interior with Khalil Ware there, it could open up a lot for him. So
For sure.
all right, let's get into the last award. Then we can get up out of here. Most improved player of the year. They have Trey Murphy III with the New Orleans Pelicans.
Mm.
I don't hate it.
It ain't
I don't-
crazy.
yeah, I don't
Like,
hate
yeah.
It's necessarily crazy.
I think Ingram would have to be
Yeah.
moved for that to happen, unless they're like. I think that would have to
Yeah.
happen there.
Definitely. And that's the thing. Like that's his potential is scoring, his shooting ability, but
Yeah.
only that he can defend for his position. So yeah, I think in order for that, some things gonna have to shake, and yeah, you can't have Zion and him and Brandon Ingram there and expect him to do that. That's a tall task. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But for my most improved, this was another tough one. But I'm gonna say this is a year he finally figured it out because to me, this is the only thing that's gonna help this entire franchise even just get through the season. Jonathan Kuminga. I think he finally figures it out.
That is a dark horse.
That is
I
a
feel-
dark horse.
I
feel
love
he
the
finally
pick.
figured it out.
I love the pick, Stevo. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think that's a better pick than what I'm about to say, to be honest. Because I'm looking at and the reason I'm looking at what was voted out last season is because the winner was Tyrese Maxey.
Tyrese
And that kind of
Maxey,
told me, like, yeah, he had the season where he was like, all right, we already knew he was there. and he was good.
Mhm.
But according to the voters, from how they voted, it seemed like they wasn't prepared to say that he improved to that level yet.
Mm.
So I'm looking at the list, and I'm saying the person that could potentially come out and say that they're the most improved player, I'll probably go with Jalen Suggs more so than believing that he can win Defensive Player of the Year. I think that the 3-point shot is improving, at least from the watch, and I don't have the numbers right here. But I know that the defensive side of the basketball could definitely be one of the key things that you focus on when you talk about most improved players.
Okay. My pick to end this episode, I'm picking Brandon Miller. I think having LaMelo Ball
That's
there,
nice.
having LaMelo Ball there fully healthy, him stepping into his role a little bit more. He averaged 17 points per game last season. I could easily see that going upwards of 20. If they go on a playoff run as well, keep in mind last time LaMelo Ball was healthy, they won 43 games. They're a better team now than what they were there. I think Brandon Miller can put together a season where he can win most improved player.
Yeah, I know I wanted to say Kobe White, but I ain't gonna do it.
And I actually got another one. I think
I ain't gonna do it though.
And I got another one and that's with DeJounte going to New Orleans. I think Jalen Johnson has a good case of being most improved too.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, that's it for today, fellas. Anything left, man?
Nah,
we
we
covered everything in there. So
hey, for sure. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe.
Absolutely, man. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel at NBA Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, NBA Central Show at gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything NBA and basketball related. We out, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.